So it's been another pretty incredible meet. How are you feeling right now? One day to go, obviously up big in the team race, but been some pretty cool moments.
Some really cool moments. Last night was, I thought, about as good as it could possibly get, and we kind of found a way to have almost as good or maybe even a better night tonight. I'm just so proud of the way that they've come out and raced for each other. This is something that we talked a lot about through the course of the year, and we knew we had a very strong team on paper, and we wanted it. We wanted it to be a different experience than we had last year, and I mean, it was awesome winning last year. But I think generally we felt like it could have been a little bit better, and making it a meaningful experience this weekend. And the 800 free relay set the tone on the first night, and we've just kind of kept rolling from there.
Yeah. I think the one person that comes to mind, of course, for tonight is Eilidh, because just that was such a stunning swim, really last night too. What was it like seeing her have those kind of moments? Just
I don't know. I mean, last night was when I went to bed last night, just kind of reliving the day and thinking about the swims. That 200 IM was probably one of the best swims I've ever seen, certainly at the NCAA championships. And then she just absolutely destroyed that by what she did today. Yeah, it was amazing, and she's worked for this. She works hard. She has good attention to details. She's part of an incredible training group. I mean, the people that she trains with every day, that 400 IM group, is amazing, and the 200 IM group, and they all should feel a part of it, because it's unlike any sort of training group I've ever seen before, and they make each other better, and that is, I think that's a huge part of her success. But when she's in a good place and just carrying really good speed, she can do some pretty amazing things.
So when we just talked to her, she said that she is by far not the best trainer in those IM groups. And so did you have an idea that she would have those swims based on her practices? Well,
I think I've, watching it for 3 years, I kind of know what's good for her in training versus, what's good for some others. Some people are, they're just incredible trainers, and she isn't necessarily great in terms of times that she goes, but her work ethic is on point. And I think because she gets challenged, and because she's not necessarily super fast in training, but she's working really hard, she's constantly getting pushed. I mean, between Katie and Brooke and Ali Seckley and Hannah Kukuruga and Leah Stevens, I mean, I think we had 6 people swim the 400 IM this morning, and Katie Levinovich. Right. And 4 scored. So it was, so I think she's kind of pushed in that. And you never, we talked about this actually in our team meeting tonight, as I think people get fixated sometimes on records. And as a good example, our 200 free relay, they didn't approach that swim trying to break the record. They just wanted to win. And Cal's been so good in that relay the last 3 years, and they've just gotten past us and gotten past us and gotten past us, and we've been so short. That was they really wanted to win that, and that's what brought out the record. And so you don't kind of sit back and think what someone can do. You try and put together a great swim based on the skill set, and that's what she did. And the time is a byproduct of that. Now, 3:54 is kind of ridiculous, but it's still part of that bigger picture, I think, to me.
Allie Howe, not having the meet she wanted last year after Pac-12s, and that leg on that relay last night where she held off Abby Weitzel, and then tonight finally getting that first one, and I just saw a picture, just the look on her face.
Yeah.
That clip, it's something that means so much to her. What's that like for a senior who you've seen elevate herself every single year?
That's a senior moment, which you love. I mean, I get goosebumps now just thinking about it. She is someone that, when she puts her mind to a goal, she's pretty tough to stop. And I think wanting to kind of do something really great last year and setting the record at Pac-12s, in some ways, kind of, she had already accomplished so much that it was hard to reset. And this year, Like we just kind of kept the focus on right here this week, and my goodness, she has had an unbelievable meet. That relay swim last night, both relay swims last night, and really on a more global level for our team, relay leadoffs are something that we have a little bit struggled with. And about halfway through Pac-12s, I finally we just talked. We had never really talked about it, and we just talked about it in a team meeting. It's like this, we're better than this. Like we need to have some really good relay leadoff swims. And since that point, we have been just awesome. From Draybot's 142.9 to Janet Hu's 21.6 to Allie's 50.3. She had never been under 51 in that relay before last night. To Allie again tonight at 23.5. So yeah, that was cool. She just like took ownership of it. And
I want to ask about Katie and Simone. Neither one having superstar, their best meets, but both obviously swimming well still.
Yeah.
What's it like for them to not be at their 100% all-time bests? Is it difficult for them?
I don't know. I mean, they've still done things this weekend that they've never done before.
Yeah.
Katie had never been under 140 and split 139.8 on her 800 free relay. Simone had never been under 20.78 and she went 20.45 on that relay. So, I mean, that was a ridiculous anchor.
Wow.
So it's like, no meet ever goes perfect. Even with as incredible as our meet's gone, there's a handful of swims that we wish were better. But, you take that because it's swimming. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Last year, Greg, you guys obviously won by a lot, but it was still new. Winning as a team was new to you guys. This year, it seems like everybody is dialed in on each other's races as kind of what builds up to, obviously, the team goal. Have you noticed, that a lot of the swimmers that are, they're on the sidelines watching, they seem way more engaged than than they have, and way more into it emotionally. How big is that for you to see?
Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, swimming is fun, and fast swimming is fun. And this sport is hard enough, and we can really complicate it sometimes. And when there are moments when you can just really sit back and enjoy it, and watching their best friends do things they've never done before is so cool, and it just absolutely, inspires them. And I think part of it is we openly talked about dialing back our emotional investment into the Pac-12 championships because of our experience last year. We just got on a run at Pac-12s and I think over-invested maybe emotionally, and we talked about it before the meet this year, not wanting to go to that place, and that was part of why we kind of did some different events at Pac-12s to keep things fresh here, and that has certainly, I think, paid pretty big dividends. Allie Howe didn't do the 100 back, and Ella didn't do the 200 IM, and those kinds of things. And so we're at a place now where they can go to that emotional well, because we don't go there very often, and so when they do, it's fun. And I just, there's nothing better than seeing your best friends do crazy stuff, and then you want to sort of reciprocate that to them.
Do you guys share goals with everybody? Do you have talks about what everybody's goals are? Because it seems like everybody knows exactly what makes a great swim for every one of their teammates.
I think they do a good job of knowing what their best times are generally. But they have a big goal meeting in the fall, and they talk about sort of the team goals, and then there's opportunities for people to kind of share some individual goals. And as coaches, we're not there for that. We kind of do more of the one-on-one stuff. But there's some really cool goals that people didn't necessarily share with the whole team, but shared with some individuals that were accomplished. And then it's like just makes that moment really special between those two people. And they do a good job of paying attention, and they know what's good. And when you're doing some of the things that we're doing, it's like, you don't even have to know times that much to kind of know that it's been a really fun week.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Have fun tomorrow.
Thanks.